Hello, I'm Morgan Cheryl and I'm going to be talking about She's the Man, that was directed by Andy Fickman in 2006. I chose this movie because it is one of my all-time favorites, but there are still a couple things that I would change about the movie. I watch it often, and again, it's one of my favorites, so that's why I chose it. So I'm going to start with the characters. I'm going to start off with Amanda Bynes, who plays Viola. Some background on Viola. She was on the varsity girls soccer team, but the team got cut. So she decided that she was going to go and pretend to be her brother on the men's league at Cornwall to prove that she was worthy of playing. I think that Amanda plays Viola very well because their personalities match. She looks her age for the character, and just all around she plays the role great. They complement each other. And Wenda Bendetti would also agree. She states in her review, most of the laughs are due to Bynes, a vibrant young actress with excellent comedic chops. In trying to speak like a man, she comes up with a rather improbable and inconsistent accent, but her girl-turned-guy routine is full of enough hilarious moments that surely even William himself is chuckling in his grave. So she obviously strongly agrees that Amanda plays Viola very well. Next, I'm going to I'm going to touch on Channing Tatum, who plays Duke in the movie. So he's kind of just this main character who's on the Cornwall soccer team, and he rooms with Sebastian or Viola. And he's kind of catching on to it because he sees that Sebastian is acting odd. He's kind of weird, out of character. But the only thing that I would change about it is that he does not look his age. Channing Tatum is like 30, and he's playing a college character. So you can kind of tell it kind of doesn't match, but he fits the good-looking guy that they were looking for. But other than that, I think he plays the role great. Next, I'm going to talk about the sequence of events in the movie. I think everything is great. I love it. But I think that it ends on the climax. And usually, when you learn in elementary school, when you make the little charts, the climax is usually in the middle, and not all movies have to follow it. But I would have liked for the movie to go on a little more and tell some of the details that happen after. But I can also see how that can be a good thing if they wanted to let your mind roam, kind of think on it, on what's to happen next. There's obviously not going to be a second movie, so I wish they would have gone on, but I can see why they didn't. Then I like the setting a lot. I think that being in a college setting, first year students fits the movie well because they're still trying to figure each other out, figure themselves out. It's their first time being away from mom and dad. So I like the setting. I don't think that they should have chosen anywhere else. I'm going to go on to read a quote from Claudia Pugh. In her review, she says, the siblings are able to pull off this switch because their parents are divorced and each parent thinks they are with the other. It is unlikely that most parents would pay so little attention to their teenagers' whereabouts, but disbelief might as well be suspended here. I chose this quote from her because the divorced parents kind of adds on to the movie, because I know that if I did that, my parents would catch on really quick. I wouldn't be able to pull it off. So the divorced parents, and if you watch the movie, the mom, she's kind of like not all there. She's kind of ditzy, oblivious to a lot of things. So it kind of adds on how Viola is able to pull off this switch with Sebastian and the parents not catch on. But in a normal setting, that wouldn't be possible, I wouldn't think. So one of my favorite parts of the movie that they touch on is Viola's willingness to go out and do this switch because she's so determined to prove that she deserves to be on the guys' team. So it kind of shows just some like perseverance and good qualities of Viola and how determined she is to prove what she believes in. And she's obviously feel strong about soccer, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to something else that we're passionate about. I like that part of the movie. Amanda Bynes really portrays that well through Viola. I think that they were spot on in getting that message across, and I really enjoyed it. So, one of the things that I noticed in here is when her coach stated to her and her team, he said, "All right, you're all excellent players, but girls aren't as fast as boys, or as strong, or as athletic." And I think that kind of sparked Viola a little bit. This happened in the beginning of the movie. I think it kind of sparked her to act on what she wanted, and this kind of started up this whole switch. But one of the things that I do not think makes sense in the movie is the switch in general, because if Viola is on a soccer team and all of a sudden she disappears to the world and nobody hears from her because she's playing Sebastian, I would think that people would notice. Maybe that's thinking too far into it, but I think that it would be impossible for someone to disappear and nobody to question or notice. So that's just like one of the real world things that just doesn't make sense in the movie. So I think some of the conflict should have been added in there because it wouldn't be possible for it not to happen in real life. So that is my review on the movie. Overall, I highly recommend it. I think it's great. I think it's funny. Just some minor details in there that I would personally change, but I love it, and go watch it. Thank you.